What is up, guys? Today we will be previewing round 6 of the NRL season and giving my tips and predictions. Let's get into it. The Thursday game, the Knights and the Roosters. The Knights are coming off a wet weather affair win against the Dragons. The Roosters also played in a wet weather affair, but lost to the Bulldogs 30-26. This game is an interesting one. The Roosters, I think they might have been the better team last week. They were terrible for the first half, but they really lifted and almost won. So if you can see Dominic Young, Tedesco and Walker all out for the Roosters. I believe Tedesco and Walker are injuries, and Dominic Young I believe is out for 2 weeks, if I remember correctly. So let's have a bit of a look at the team lists. Just trying to see if there's any differences. Yeah, Connor Watson's the 5'8". I think the Knights are going to win, I would say. It's in Newcastle. I don't know if this is an upset or not. But purely because of the Roosters out, I mean, Connor Watson's at 5'8". That says it all. I think the Knights should be winning this game. Because, they got a good win last week. The Roosters lost 30-26 against the Bulldogs, who aren't a great team. Yeah. Got to go the Knights in this one. 26-20. I think the Roosters will still be in the game. First game on the Friday, the Storm and the Bulldogs. The last 2 times these two have played at Amy Park, it's actually split 1-1. The Storm won 44-0 in 2022, and the Dogs won 26-12 in 2023. Now, I think this game should be a given. So Blake Taaffe, Harrison Edwards, and Kurt Mann all drop out of the Bulldogs side. If you see that, Nelson Asafa-Solomona, I believe he's not actually in the starting side. I believe, he's at number 22 on the reserves. So, watch this space, I guess, because he might return for this game. And if he does, it doesn't really matter. I'm tipping the Storm. You'd be stupid not to. I'd say Storm are going to win this pretty comfortably, 36-12. After, Storm, they were pretty good last week, and the Dogs, they were good in the first half, but their second half was just deplorable. The fact that they almost lost when they had a man up 26-0 at half-time, and they conceded the try of 11, I'm pretty sure. They were terrible. The Storm winning this 36-12. The Dogs are going to get smashed. And now the second game, the Battle of Brisbane, the Broncos and the Dolphins. But this game might not be as good as you'd think, mainly because of the injuries. Felice Kafusi, Herbie Farnworth and Kurt Donahue all drop out of the Dolphins team. Adam Reynolds drops out for the Broncos, and Dean Mariner also drops out. Reece Walsh returns, and I think that almost wins the Broncos the game. But there are a few players. Tessie New comes into the side for Herbie Farnworth. Thomas Flegler, despite an injury last week, is playing. Anthony Milford comes on, I believe, for his first game of the season. But the Broncos last week, they weren't terrible against the Storm. Their defence wasn't great, but they're not known for their defence, they're known for their attack, and they scored 32 points. It is a concern, though. They need to work on their defence, the Broncos. Dolphins, they were pretty good last week. The Broncos win 21-20. Let's go. And the Warriors and Manly, this could be, along with the Battle of Brisbane, could be the game of the round. The Warriors and Manly both won on Saturday and won pretty well. The Warriors beat the Rabbitohs 34-4, and they were the better team all day, pretty much. Manly, though, they beat Penrith. They celebrated DCE in a great way. And Bunty Afowa's out. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak returns for the Warriors. Which means Adam Pompey drops out of the side. He should never be there anyway. Ben Trebojevic is in the centres for Manly. I think the Warriors' record against Manly is not good. But the Warriors, they could be easily 4-1 or 5-0 even. Manly, they were good last week. So are the Warriors. I think the Warriors are going to win 28-22. It'll be a really good game of footy. And Manly lose, so that means it must be good, right? You know, the Warriors, how good were they against Souths? Even though Souths were flat, they were still really good. The second game on the Saturday, Parramatta Eels and the North Queensland Cowboys. Cowboys, they come from Townsville, go all the way to CommBank. This game's interesting. Look at the record. 22 apiece and 1 draw. That's as even as it gets. So, Zach Labour is out for the Cowboys. But the Eels, even that says they have no outs. They have some outs. So, Marcus Seaver and Blaise Talungi both dropped. Which means Bailey Simonson moves into the bench and Dejan Arce goes into 5'8" for Blaise Talungi. You know, Bryce Cartwright returns from an injury. So what do I think? The Eels, they were terrible last week. We can't lie. And the Cowboys, they weren't terrible against the Titans. They were actually pretty good in that win. Their attack was good. All the Queensland sides, I swear, their defense isn't great, but their attack is brilliant. All of them. I think, the Parramatta, they got smashed last week. I think they should be. I think the coach will get out from them. They'll be up for their home fans. And the Cowboys, they won. I don't think the Cowboys have the greatest of records, especially not at Parramatta. So I think the Eels, the Cowboys will win 36-24. I think this game will be high scoring. I know the Eels their attack hasn't been the greatest. I think Dejan Arce will, get it clicking. The Eels desperately need to win after 2 pretty bad losses, I'd say. Yeah, so let's move on to the next game. The Rabbitohs and the Sharks. This game will be a lot more interesting if South went 1-4 and the Sharks went 1. Why are they 4-1? No, they're 3-1 with a bye. So, I didn't catch it, but Jai Gray is the fullback. I think that's his debut. Tyrone Munro is also on the wing. And I think, Souths are in trouble. Peter Marmozelos, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is at number 9 at the hooker role. I think that Damon Cook obviously is dropped. Sean Kepi also out. Brayden Hamlin-Uele, though, number 22, he could come into the side. He really could. I would say he probably will come kick off. But if we want to look at both these teams' performance last week. So the Rabbitohs, they got smashed by the Warriors, and the Sharks did a pretty good win against the bye, I think. I think they played well. I didn't really catch the game. Pretty hard to find highlights of Sharks against the bye. I think the Sharks are going to win 30-18. first game on the Sunday, the Tigers and the Dragons. I'll preview this in more detail on the Tigers side. But pretty much, I'm pretty worried about the Tigers and the Sun. Because whenever we're, like, huge favourites, especially at Campbelltown for some reason, we always seem to lose. Remember 2 years ago against the Knights? We're coming off a brilliant win against the Broncos, which I was lucky enough to be at, and the infamous loss against the Cowboys. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But 4 out to the Tigers, 3 actually from the starting side last week. So, Safe Half comes in for Bateman on second row. Jake Simkin moves to the bench, I believe, for his first game of the year. I'm really nervous because I feel like we're going to lose this somehow. The Dragons, they weren't disgraceful last week, but they weren't the best. It's just they don't have the skill of other clubs, I guess. The Tigers won 28-16. The Raiders and the Titans. The Raiders, they demolished the Eagles at this very time slot. Sunday, 6:15. And the Titans, that was their best performance of the year, and they still lost. They're 0-4, the Titans. They got to win this game. They have to. They just have to find a way to win this. The Raiders, they're making me look like an idiot. I tipped them, I believe, like 14th, and they are excelling. So Chevy Stewart, I believe that's his debut. Might be like his second game. Has not played much. Not much else I can say. Josiah Bahulu, he keeps his spot on the bench. And Harley Smith-Shields plays against his old club for the first time. This game, I feel like the Titans, they're going to get up for this. I know the Eels are probably a better team than the Titans, but the Eels were terrible last week. I think the Titans, they're not going to win, but they're going to make it close. They're going to, give the Raiders fans, like a heart attack. Maybe not a heart attack, but they're gonna give them a scare. I think the Raiders are gonna win 22-16. Penrith have the bye, so there'll be the Tigers match preview coming out either tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday. I didn't do one last week because I forgot to do it. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as I would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to hit 50 subs by, I don't know when. But, yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.